Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Wednesday, and that means tonight was AEW Dynamite. Let's lower this camera just a little bit. AEW Dynamite. It was the second to last show of their Chicago residency, and I thought it was just all right, even with a roughly 30-minute, let's see, I saw somebody posted on Twitter how long that match went, I think. Let me see if I can find that tweet again. It was just on my timeline like 2 minutes. No, I didn't see it. I don't have it anymore. I thought I saw someone post the time, but it was roughly 30 minutes because they started like 5 minutes before the top of the hour and then went to 8:23-ish. So it was roughly a 30-minute match that sucked. Like the match itself was just all right. And then the finish. We'll get into it. And I got some shit to say because like the title of this review says, rules just don't matter in AEW. Rules just don't matter in All Elite Wrestling. Like, they don't. They never have, and they never will. But as far as the rest of the show does go, I mean, it was fine, good wrestling. I enjoyed the Young Bucks versus the Outrunners. I thought the rest of the show was all right. Athena pinned the world champion, and it's like, why? She's already got the built-in contract, whatever, for her Money in the Bank. We're just going to call her Money in the Bank. So like, why does she need to beat the champion? Because now she could say, oh, well, I beat you. Just give me a match. I don't need to cash them. It's whatever. But like I said, it was an easy show to watch. I didn't hate it because I thought it was a good Dynamite, but it wasn't great. And the world title match, I get why they did it at the top of the hour because it's got a 1 hour time limit. So it's like, okay, we have to tell, we're not telling you it's going, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45. We have to let you think it can go a full hour. So we have to start it before the top of the hour so it can go an hour. But then we're not dumb and we know there's 2 more matches left on the show. So what were you going to do? Cut one of these matches? Were we supposed to think? And I don't want to get in my rant yet, but were we supposed to think they were going to cut one of these matches if this match went long? Just saying. But with all of that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here for Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can help us out over on YouTube. You can help us out over there by hitting the subscribe button. That way you know we post new videos. That way you know we go live. And that way you know we post to the community tab. You might have saw it on social media, but as soon as I'm done with this, we got an update coming out on Drew McIntyre's status for SummerSlam. So keep them notifications on so you see that video, unless you already saw it on our social media. But we got a major update on Drew's status since he's been stranded, as he stated, which is real in the UK, which is a real thing. It's not a work. Anyways. Also, remember, if you want to support the channel in another way, you can do so by becoming a channel member. Hit the join button to become a channel member, and you get a badge next to your name. Emotes and emojis that you can use in the live chat. And you also get access to our graphics packages and graphics tutorials. It's also a great way to make sure you keep all of these lights on, help us out, and get the great content coming. Like what we're starting next week. We're bringing back the Wrestling Wrap-Up. Every Monday and every Friday, roughly noon Central Time. Noon my time, noon Central Time. We'll be bringing back the Wrestling Wrap-Up. We're going to be talking news. Sometimes there's not going to be enough news, so we'll get a topic, and we'll just talk about a specific topic. Or maybe I'll even go back and review an old match or an old pay-per-view or give my thoughts on a subject. So I got some plans. I also want to bring in guests and whatnot to get different perspectives and different voices. So if there's anybody that you want to see on the show, tag them. I've posted the announcement video from Monday's Raw review on our Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. So go to that post and tag people in those comments who you want to see appearing on the Wrestling Wrap-Up with me. Also, remember, if you want to support us in another way and get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. Finally, head over to the Epic Games Store. Head over to the Epic Games Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PWUNLIMITED, for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. Maybe you're getting ready to pre-order Borderlands 4 that is now available for pre-order. And when you do, it's going to ask you if you have a creator code on the Epic Store. It's PW Unlimited. Again, that is PWUNLIMITED. Also know, if you're a Dead by Daylight fan, there's a new Walking Dead update. If you're going to get that stuff, use our code. Use our code. Also, can't wait. Some new Dragon Ball Z stuff coming to Fortnite. I don't know if we're getting new skins per se, but I know that the Son Goku, the Vegeta, the Bulma, the Beerus skins are coming back, and they're incorporating them in some stuff with Blitz Royale. So all that cool stuff there. Go to the Epic Games Store and help us out. As far as this show does go, though, give me 1 second. All right. So as far as the show does go, come on the air, and Excalibur's running down the full card for tonight's show. And then we get a highlight package of the Hangman John Moxley death match from All In. And then we go to our first match of the night, which is actually a really good tag match. I enjoyed this. It was the Young Bucks versus the Outrunners. Outrunners out here wearing their Newports gear. I'm looking at this gear, and I'm just like, their gear looks like a fucking carton of Newports. What the hell? And I guess this wasn't I hadn't noticed it before, but I guess it's not the first time they've worn this gear. The Outrunners cut an inset promo about win, lose, or draw. They're rich, having won $200,000 on Collision last week. And I'm like, okay, cool. No one cares about those matches. And no one cared about last week's Collision because apparently that show did bad ratings. What did that show do last week? What was the ratings of last week's Collision? I have it here. Let me go back and look. Last week's Collision. Go to ratings, Collision. Let's scroll down to the bottom. Newest one, 339. 339,000. Well, that's not the lowest for the year. Because I know earlier this year, I want to say March-ish, they did like a 280. But that is very low for the normal time slot. That is very low for a Saturday night in the normal time slot. As far as the match does go, Magnum and Nick started things off fast pace with Nick getting ping-ponged between the Outrunners. They fired up with double big boots and then a big backdrop on both Bucks. At one point, Floyd was able to fight off the Young Bucks with a double backdrop and a dive to get the hot tag to Magnum, who was a house of fire jumping in. Matt did block a double boot in the corner, swung Magnum's leg around, and hung him so Nick can do the swanton. There's a super kick that laid out Floyd as Nick followed with an Escalara. But, well, before getting into Tony Schiavone's face, demanding, who's the superstar? Excalibur was insulted as he was interrupted trying to throw a commercial break. The whole thing, I guess, like during their entrance, instead of having their names on the lower third, it said talent name, social media, instead of actually having their social medias and their actual name. I think it's stupid as shit. Well, they're not EVPs anymore, so now they're the bottom of the barrel. Now we're going to make fun of them and say that they're nobodies. It's so dumb. It's very dumb. Back from the break, Matt spat in Floyd's face, who nearly got the hot tag, but Nick swept the legs of Magnum. Nick then ran wild with a series of super kicks until Matt hit a somersault cutter off the apron to the floor on Floyd. At one point, there was a huge body slam and a charging corner elbow. Can't speak right now. as a Northern Lights bomb on Matt led to a son of a bitch elbow attempt, which Nick super kicked away from. There's a running bulldog clothesline combo from Floyd as they tried the total recall, but Matt made the save with a super kick as there was a super kick party that ramped up until Floyd no-sold some of it, and they turned both inside out with some lariats. Some lariats. They finally did hit the son of a bitch elbow and connected for a 2. As we come down towards the finish of the match, the Bucks accidentally super kicked each other, allowing total recall to connect on Matt, but Nick dove in and made the save. This is awesome chance as total recall was avoided a second time, with Matt getting a schoolboy with the tights for a 2. The Bucks then managed to hit a TK driver. Nick held Floyd off and Matt pinned Magnum. So there we go. Everyone on Twitter was like, oh, they're doing this story where the Young Bucks suck now, so there's no way they're winning. No way they're winning. Yeah, they won. I thought that was dumb of everybody or most people to say Young Bucks weren't winning this. I'm still steadfast that it's FTR and Young Bucks in the finals. And FTR is winning. Afterwards, Okada came out to celebrate with the Bucks. They beat up the Outrunners. Swerve came down to make the save and ran off the Elite. Basically it. Looks like we're probably setting up some sort of a 6-man. Okada and the Young Bucks against Swerve and the Outrunners. What it looks like. Later on, or next up, I guess you would say, Renee Paquette's backstage with Mark Briscoe. He brings up his issues with MJF before Ricochet comes in with Gates of Agony, who we're not supposed to call GOA. He said, you gotta be careful. You're facing me tonight. You gotta worry about him. Ricochet is gonna bounce him out of town in a pool of his own blood, just like he did at Revolution. Briscoe said that he's on a war path, and tonight he'll kick Ricochet's ass. But that's nothing compared to what I'm going to do to MJF. And Ricochet's just like, stop. I'm your opponent tonight. Why are you worried about him? He's like, it's going to get you a beating. And I'm beating you. And I'm going to call you a loser. And I'm like, it was kind of weird that the whole thing is about, you're fighting Ricochet tonight for God knows why. Like, that was the randomest of random matches. But he's all worried about MJF instead. Yeah, that was the first not good on this show of a few. Oh, we could get back to commentary where Caliber and Taz mentioned that MJF is in the #1 movie in the world right now, Happy Gilmore 2. It might be because everyone was so interested in watching it on Netflix and so many people have Netflix. And here's my question. How many people here have seen Happy Gilmore 2? You don't got to tell me if you liked it or didn't like it, but what I want to know, if you watched it, would you have gone and seen it in theaters, though? Would you have paid to go see this in theaters, or was it like, oh, I already got Netflix? Sure. That's how I was. Once I saw like early trailers, I was like, oh, that looks funny. That looks kind of cool. And they actually only showed us stuff in the early trailers from like the first 20, 30 minutes of the movie. Even the full trailer we got, the 2.5 minute-ish trailer, only showed stuff from the first quarter half of the movie. Because we learned that the second half sucks. Anyways, like, I saw that first trailer, the teaser trailer, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. I can't wait. I love Happy Gilmore. Adam Sandler's like one of my, if not my favorite actor. I mean, my favorite movie of all time is The Waterboy. But then I saw the full trailer that they released. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this don't look good. Now, I wouldn't have paid to go see it in theaters. I probably wouldn't have paid to go see it in theaters, but came out on Netflix, so I watched it. Didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I didn't laugh. Well, I've actually seen it twice because I watched it myself and then I watched it once with my son because he wanted to watch it because he loves the original Happy Gilmore and he liked it. He's a 14-year-old boy, but I didn't like it. I thought it was just okay and it wasn't funny. Never laughed once. A couple times early on in the movie when he's trying to get, because we know the story, he's out of golf for a while. He's got to get back into it to make money. And so, like, when he's first trying to get back into it, I'm like, oh, like, I chuckled maybe once or twice, and I smirked because I was like, oh, that was kind of funny, but I don't know. We cut to MJF, though, and he's in the back, and he's talking about, being in the biggest movie in the world, and then starts talking about the Hurt Syndicate, and he goes and he knocks on the locker room door, and Shelton Benjamin comes out, and he's like, hey, what's up, Shelton? And he says something about Lashley, and he says something about MVP, and he just goes, he's not here. MVP didn't come tonight because he's disgusted with you and your actions. And Max is like, well, yeah, that's not what I meant last week. And if it came off like that, I'm sorry. It was wrong. Just trying to better the group. I want the title back and then for the group. He tried to make it not seem selfish or whatever. But Benjamin asked what time it was and then brings up how MJF gave him a Rolex and says, yeah, this is the nicest Rolex you ever get off Temu. Tells him that it's a cheap knockoff. The only reason MJF didn't get his ass kicked a long time ago because MVP stuck his neck out for him. Said MJF can get to stepping with his fake ass watch. Or else he'll leave him in a pool of his own piss. So earlier, Ricochet said, I'm going to leave Mark Briscoe in a pool of his own blood. Benjamin said, I'm going to leave MJF in a pool of his own piss. Okay. Benjamin then tossed down the fake watch, gave MJF a thumbs down, and slammed the door in his face. MJF screamed for the camera to get out of his face. Then we got bad thing number 2. Oh my God, did Christian just ramble and ramble and ramble and ramble and ramble. Christian fucking Cage just rambled and rambled about being an asshole. Tony Schiavone was out there. Welcomes Christian Cage to the ring. Christian comes out and says, hello, my name is Christian Cage, and I'm an asshole. Cage says he's the type of asshole that's numb to the world and everything in it. He doesn't care who's in his way and who he hurts. He was focused on winning the AEW World title and fulfilling his destiny. Cage brought up Revolution, hitting a spear, nearly winning the title, but it took a split second to look down and see the past. And then talked about getting turned on and attacked by Nick Wayne and Shayna and Kip Sabian and all them. He said, hey, good to see the Nick's nuts finally dropped. He said, despite not earning the right to do so, when it comes to this business, he spent more money renting cars and going to towns than both of those boys have ever made in their entire career. Well, no shit, fucker. You've been doing this for, 30 years? If not more? Let me see. When did Christian start? And Christian Cage has been wrestling since, what was it, like 94? 95. Well, that's 30 years, right? 95, 05, 15. Yeah, 30 years. This is his 30-year anniversary of his career. Anyways. No shit, then you've spent more money. Especially when you were in WWE and they made you pay for your rental cars and your hotels and all that. AEW covers those things. Anywho. Cage said that he didn't stick to the plan because he didn't think the patriarchy were capable of actually pulling it off, and he needed to do what he needed to do to try and make it work. Nick, Kip, and Shayna don't know what it's like to live the life of luxury unless they're stooging off of him. And there's probably a long line of people ready to destroy him for what he's done. He said, as for Adam Cage, he heard what he said a couple of weeks ago, talking about snapping Copeland's neck and saying that, I'm going to put you on the shelf and take care of your wife. Cage asked if what he said was all that bad. As Copeland understands this game, because he plays this game. He was at one point, the ultimate opportunist. And Christian just keeps rambling and rambling and rambling and rambling because I eventually stopped writing notes. I'm like, this guy is just, what? He just keeps going and going and going and going and going. Finally said Nick has one dead father, but now he has a father that's dead to him. From this moment on, Christian Cage disowns all of them. Christian goes to leave. He walks up the ramp, goes to go to the back, and boom, there's Shayna in his face. She's stopping him. She slaps him. Well, at least he tries to, and he blocks it. Cage then turns around. There's Kip. Kip Sabian's there trying to sneak attack him, but he caught him. Yet, he turns around again. He's cracked by the ROH TV title from Nick Wayne. Sabian and Nick both had chairs and hit a standing concerto on Cage, who collapsed in a heap. Nick screamed that, "You don't disown me, I disown you." And there we go. So they just beat him down again. This time with no help. No Edge, Copeland, or Cope, whatever you want to call him, to come out and help him. So, yeah, I didn't like any of this. I thought it was just Christian rambled and rambled and rambled. Yeah, Christian's a good talker and whatnot, but he just kept on going and going and going. So, yeah. Mike Goldberg, if you're going to just throw random stuff in the chat, you are going to get banned. This is your last warning. You do this all the time. Last warning. You want to be a spammer in the chat? I'm just going to block you from ever being in the chat. Remember, guys, if you want to get your comment, questions, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat on YouTube or Twitch Bits over on Twitch. So FDR's backstage with Stokely Hathaway, who said they're one step closer to getting a shot at the AEW World titles and winning them back. He said Adam Copeland deserves to be banned from ringside tomorrow night with the Hurt Syndicate. With what the Hurt Syndicate did last week was cowardice in the Bang Bang Gangs. Well, they're good. They ain't FTR. The Young Bucks walk in, and FTR said that they're happy the Young Bucks won tonight as they put the past in the past and hope to see them in the finals. They both shake hands as Hathaway stops and says the Young Bucks aren't in charge anymore. Right? Bucks said, yeah. As Hathaway then kind of motioned like he was going to slap him, backhand him or something, and then just hobbled away with his crutch. Matt screamed that everyone in this company is so fickle. Hathaway was pretty funny here, as Stokely usually is. So let me get our main event, or not our main event. It should have been the main event, but it's not the main event. Let's go. I got some shit to say. We get the world title match. It's a rematch from All In. Hangman Page versus Jon Moxley. Everyone banned from ringside. Again, let me say that again. Everyone banned from ringside. Just think about that for a second. That's the notion. That's the rule. That's the step. Again, let me say it one more time. Everyone banned from ringside. But what does that really mean? Is there consequences if you show up at ringside, even though everyone's banned? Now, with the Continental title, which is now the rule of the unified title, everyone's banned from ringside. And if you show up at ringside, Tony Khan has stated, you're fired. He even said, if Continental rules were on that Kenny Okada match, Don would have been fired. But that wasn't this. They didn't put a consequence. All they said was, everyone banned from ringside. Yet, what did that really mean? Nothing. Nothing at all. Because what happens late in this match is there's a ref bump. And referee, I want to say it's Paul Turner. I could be wrong, but I think it was Paul Turner, goes down. And soon as he goes down, there's Claudio, there's Yuta. But there's security. Two guys only watching one area. One spot. So you can only come to the ring from that area, that part of the crowd. No one can come from any other way, like down the goddamn ramp through the timekeeper's area. So Claudio and Yuta slowly make their way over to the security. They jump the rail and they push him back. No, no, no. Everyone's banned. You can't come out here. And I get it. You know what you say? Well, they didn't hit the ringside area because they were still in the crowd technically. But then we see Marina Shafir, who grabs the title, throws it to Mox, and Mox, pop, hits Hangman with the belt. Ref is still down. So ref doesn't see it. Okay, I get it. Still fucking stupid. Telling us when we put a stip like this on a match, it doesn't really matter. Yet, Moxley goes for the pin. The ref gets his wits about him. It's a slow pin. 1, 2. Hangman kicks out. Moxley's all mad. All of a sudden, camera cuts, and Marina Shafir's at ringside still. And the ref sees her. And the ref calls for the security. Okay, and what? She's at fucking ringside. The ref sees her. The ref is the one calling for the security to come get her. Yet, there's no consequences here. So what did banning everybody from ringside really accomplish? What did that do? It did fucking nothing. That's what it did. Nothing. Because you still got somebody, and I get it. If the ref was down the whole time and never saw Marina, that's one thing. If security never got her and she ran off before, that would be one thing. It would still be stupid and tell us that Tony Khan's rules don't matter because he's going to overbook shit and make the stip not matter. But when the referee is the one saying, you're at ringside, you're not allowed to be here, you're not supposed to be here, security come get her and take her away, that's it? That's the only consequence, that she gets taken away by the security? No. There should be a consequence on whoever she's there on the behalf of, whoever she's there to help. Yes, the referee did not see her throw the belt into the ring. Yes, the referee did not see Moxley crack Hangman with the title. That's fine. I get that. I understand it. But the part that is just the dirt fucking worst is that it was the ref that got her out of there. Again, at least with Claudio and Wheeler, they never hit the ringside area. Security pushed them back in the crowd before they got there. Cool, whatever. But it's like, why should we care when Tony Khan and AEW and whoever puts a rule and a stip on a match? Because we know it doesn't matter. We know it's going to get broke. 99% of the time in AEW, they've done this everyone banned from ringside thing before, outside of the Continental title stuff. That they've done right. But in other matches where it's everyone's banned from ringside, someone's always going to show up. There's always going to be a ref bump. That's them telling us. Oh, especially in a Moxley match, there's going to be a ref bump. A Death Rider is going to come help him. And we go. So, yeah. It sucked. It was crap. And the match itself was boring. I did not like the match either. I get why they started the match when they did, because I saw some people online saying, why are they starting this match so early? There's still 2 more matches. What? Because they want you to think that there's a chance it can go an hour. World title matches in general have an 1-hour time limit. And because of that, they wanted you to think, oh, this match could potentially go the full hour because it's starting so early. But then what about those other 2 matches? Were we to be under the belief and the impression that if this match does go the full hour, one of those matches, if not both, could get cut? Like, yes, no, maybe so? That was the other thing. It's like, I get why they're starting the match so early, but at the same time, it's like dumb because then Ricochet and Mark Briscoe was the main event. Yet Tony Khan has always said, the world title should be the main event. The world title should always go on last. So, I don't know. This was just, it's atypical AEW. It's what we've come to learn. Bullshit. Grade A bullshit. Just saying. As far as the match itself does go, it was fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with the match. There's nothing that I could say either guy messed up, fucked up, flubbed. It was just a match, a TV match that I could have saw with anybody. They did nothing special in this match at all. And this literally could have been, I don't know, a Claudio Bandito match. No, Bandito would have been flipping and flopping in there. But this could have been like, it's just almost any, like, this could have been a Claudio Brian Cage, a Claudio Lance Archer match. I don't know. Just give me 2 people. And they could have done this match. There's nothing special about it whatsoever. So like I said, there was extra security blocking one area, looking at one area only, because you can only come to ringside from over there, not the goddamn ramp that the wrestlers come down. No, sirree, Bob. Wait, did you even watch the show? Sounds like you didn't even watch the show. Anyways, you got a question? Super chat it. But Paige wasted no time throwing some forearms in the opening moments of this match, and then they kind of start with some stiff chops and whatnot until Moxley opted to bite the forehead of Hangman. Paige got a boot up in the corner and did a hanging rear naked choke, but Moxley rolled to the outside where Paige decked him over the timekeeper's table. Back inside the ring, there was a sliding lariat that got Paige a near fall. At one point, there was a follow-away slam that sent Moxley to the apron. Paige then kept up, tried to do a springboard lariat, missed, and hit the comebacker and slingshot crossbody. There's a Death Valley driver back inside the ring that looked pretty brutal. Like, great Death Valley driver here, I will say. Moxley did answer back with the Kimura. Paige then got to the ropes. Moxley tried a charge, but ran into a pop-up powerbomb for a 2. They fought to the outside. Paige then is driven into the steps before he's brought onto the steps, and Moxley hits a pile driver. Later, we find out that Hangman is slightly bleeding from the top of his head. Hard to see with all of his hair, but he was bleeding a little bit, I guess you would say, from the pile driver, maybe. Moxley was in control throughout the entire break. Paige did get a little offense, but not really much at all. Paige then wanted a buckshot after the break, but Moxley exploded with a shotgun dropkick to the floor. He then frantically cleared off the entire announce table. Moxley wanted to go for a pile driver, and well, Paige countered it into a dead eye. The desk didn't break, and both men just fell down. There was another lariat inside the ring by Paige, but Moxley kicked out, saying, "It'll take more than that to kill me." Then we saw a great moonsault out of the corner by Paige, who landed in a tombstone position and connected for a 2. Moxley desperately picked the ankle and got a bulldog choke. He then turned this into a gator roll, into a front face lock. Paige managed a reverse into a crossface, but Moxley just got to the ropes. Paige wanted a dead eye on the apron, but Moxley raked to the back and hit a huge pile driver before delivering a gotch-style version back inside for a 2. Moxley then wanted the Death Riders, but Paige spun. Wanted the Death Rider, but Paige spun. Paige spun out of it. He then hit there was some forearms exchanged by both men. There was an Orihari moonsault as well. Paige tried a buckshot, but Moxley countered. Tried the Death Rider again, but Paige countered into a deadeye. Only Moxley's leg clipped the referee and knocked him down. So this is where we get our ref spot. I talked about the whole other stuff here, where the Death Riders come out, and then the security is dealing with Claudio and Wheeler, and then Marina comes in with the bell, and this, that, so forth, blah, 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 blah. But once all that's taken care of, they get rid of all the Death Riders. They're fighting again. They're in the crowd. You got the security still trying to get rid of Claudio and Wheeler Yuta, and all of a sudden, Darby jumps off one of the balconies where people had been sitting during the show as well, and kicks them all out with a big crossbody. The pile is down. Moxley couldn't believe what he just saw. Paige hit a big boot and a buckshot, but Moxley escaped a deadeye. He tried to go for another pile driver, and Paige hit another deadeye. There was another buckshot that connected, and bada bing, bada boom. Hangman is still your AEW World Champion, defeating Jon Moxley. So now the big question is, the next pay-per-view is Forbidden Door. Who is challenging Hangman at Forbidden Door? Is it somebody in AEW? Or is it somebody from New Japan Pro Wrestling? And I had a conversation with a friend during or after this match and during the rest of Dynamite, where his question was, is there even anybody in New Japan that the fans would get super excited for if they showed up over the next couple of weeks to challenge Hangman? He's legit question. He's like, is there anybody left in New Japan that's a big enough name that would really get people to go, oh my God, holy shit, holy cow? And I kept trying to think, and I'm like, not that I can think of. Not that I can think of at all. Okada and Ospreay are now in AEW. Like Zack Sabre, maybe, but probably not. You would think maybe Ishii, but he's in AEW all the time. I think he even worked the ROH taping tonight. Naito's gone. That was your other big star. I mean, maybe Tanahashi for his last match, last match against an AEW guy or last big title. I don't know. But I think he already did his last match. Well, no. Tanahashi will be working Forbidden Door because they did do something weeks ago now. Weeks ago. Like weeks ago. That was the whole Forbidden Door in London will be his last time in London or something like that. But like when I'm looking, and I'm going to pull up the New Japan roster. APW roster. I want to see. They call them profile pages, but I want to see, who do we have here? Let's pull this up on the screen. If we do get someone from New Japan, as it should be, being Forbidden Door, I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, Zack Sabre Jr. is like the only one that I would maybe even get excited for. Maybe. Gabe Kidd's hurt, so it's not like it's going to be him. He had to pull out of the whole goddamn G1. But as we keep going, El Phantasmo, Again, Ishii, he's in AEW and ROH so often, that wouldn't be a shocker. That wouldn't be a holy crap moment. But then we keep looking. And it's like, who? Clark Connors? David Finlay? Would be a good match, David Finlay versus Hangman, but it wouldn't be that, oh my God, holy shit moment. Well, we're getting this fucking match. Holy crap, kind of thing with Finley. Like the only one is Tanahashi. And I don't think it's Tanahashi. It could be Tanahashi, but I just don't think it is. And they keep going here. Like Evil? No. Like there's nobody. Sonata? No. Shingo? Maybe. Actually, that might be the one now that I think about it. Maybe Shingo Takagi is that holy shit moment. But I was trying to think heels since Hangman's the baby face, but you could do baby if it's interpromotional. But still just looking for the rest of this really fast. Yeah, the only one, even Yota Tsuji's cooled off. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. Like there's three. Zack, Shingo, or Tanahashi are the only like ones that would be like, holy crap, we're getting this match. And even at that, it's just like okay, that's pretty cool kind of thing. It's not even like a big shock kind of deal. But moving forward, we got a video package hyping up tomorrow's Collision where the TNT title will be on the line when Dustin Rhodes defends the title against Kyle Fletcher in a Chicago street fight. We then get a tag team match. It's Timeless Toni Storm and Alex Windsor against Athena and Billy Starks. Solid tag match. They showed us Alex Windsor. They gave her a lot to do. They highlighted her, I would say, in this match because have we seen her in a match on Dynamite yet? I know she's worked Collision, and her match with Athena on Collision for the title was good. Not warranted, but good. Like, she didn't earn it, but as far as the matches go, Windsor and Athena picked up right where they left off from Collision. But Athena posed and tagged in Starks, not realizing Storm had tagged in as well. Once she did, they both put their dukes up. Storm then answered with a midsection snap drop kick and a backbreaker before Windsor tagged back in for a locomotion corner splash. After a commercial break, Windsor continued being worked on by the heels with an assisted hanging double stuff. So Athena had her like feet on the ropes. She held her up and she was hanging there, whatever. And then Billy came down with a double stomp. Cool looking spot. Always a cool looking spot. Where was I? Athena then. I wrote this weird. Double stomp by Starks until Windsor threw a desperation headbutt. There we go. When Starks went to pick her up. Athena jumped in, but missed a senton. Windsor then nearly got the tag, but Starks pulled out Storm's leg. Windsor then had the fight back with a series of lariats leading to a double down spot in the ring. There was a Liger bomb that spiked Athena, but Starks broke up the pin and ate a charging boot from Toni Storm for her efforts. There was then Magnolian chops from Storm that led to a Thez press on Stark, who ate a sweet cheek music, but Athena made the blind tag, flew off the top rope with the O-face, and pinned the AEW World Champion, Women's World Champion, Timeless Toni Storm. Afterwards, Stark slammed Windsor into the barricade. Athena held her contract over Storm, saying, it's only a matter of time, and my time is forever. So she beat the champion. And it's like, okay, you beat the champion, so shouldn't that just give you a title match? You don't got to waste your cash in? Just saying. Raven gets backstage with Hangman, who is being tended to by the doctors. She tries to ask him what's next when MJF struts in and says, congratulations, Seabiscuit, on retaining your title. Last time MJF checked, heroes don't stab people in the head with forks, as he views Paige as a coward in the scenario and tries to goad him into another world title shot like he did last week. Paige is like, again, I'm not going to just give you a shot. You got that? Use it. Cash it in or earn it. Go win a number one contenders match. Hell, you feuding with Mark Briscoe? Mark Briscoe is someone that I've respected and looked up to for 10 years. Go beat Mark Briscoe. Then I'll consider giving you a shot. MJF's like, yeah? For reals? Yeah? And he's all like thinking about it. He's like, oh, wait, that's all I got to do is beat that country bumpkin? MJF said, the Hicks from the Sticks always stick together. And Paige said, there's no Hurt Syndicate around, so don't get too cocky. There's nothing holding me back from kicking your ass. MJF then storms off. And as we learned, he has gone to go speak with Tony Khan, the biggest mark of them all, as he says. Speaking of Tony Khan, oh my God, fucking Willow. Felicia, too, is there talking with Willow Nightingale. She says, I saw last week you laid down the challenge to Tekla, but it came unanswered. So what are we doing? She's now formed an alliance with the Triangle of Madness. And Willow goes, yeah, and I'm the trapezoid of Grapazoid. I'm like, what? And she goes, then I went and I spoke to Tony Khan. Because if Tekla is not going to accept my challenge, I'm going to go get the match made. And when I told Tony Khan, we got one more night in Chicago, and we should do this match tomorrow on Collision, he said, well, quote, damn, girl, you won't get crazy in Chi-Town. She said it just like that. I shit you not. Basically, Willow says she went to Tony Khan, got the match made. It's Willow and Tekla tomorrow on Collision. But the way she, did the whole, damn, girl, you won't get crazy in Chi-Town, pretending to be Tony Khan. And then, I think it was Excalibur on commentary goes, that was a perfect impersonation and portrayal of our boss, Tony Khan. I'm like, what? He called it a perfectly accurate interpretation and impression. I'm like, what? Okay, then. Sure. But before we get into our main event, Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet, we got to talk about our sponsor, AECOOLY. Does the summer heat got you sweating through your shirt before noon? Maybe it's time to chill with an AECOOLY handheld fan. This pocket-sized powerhouse is your secret weapon against scorching temps. Whether catching rays listening to music or just looking to get a great tan, it brings the breeze right when you need it. With 3-speed settings, a rechargeable battery that lasts up to 10 hours, and a whisper-quiet motor, the AECOOLY fan delivers cool comfort without the buzz or bulk. Toss it in your bag, clip it to your desk, or have it right by your side at all times. It's compact, stylish, and oh so convenient. So why melt when you can breeze through summer? Use our link in the description below, scan the QR code on the screen, or head over to pwunlimited.co/AECOOLY. That's AECOOLY now for coolin' in the palm of your hand. As far as the main event, it was a fun match. I thought it was fine. Wasn't bad at all. This was a perfect Collision main event, if I do say so myself, to be completely honest. This wasn't a big match Dynamite main event, but I get why this was the final thing, because it's building up to next week's main event, MJF and Briscoe. Anyways, this match. There's a wall walk pump kick from Ricochet early on, where Briscoe responded with an enziguri and some forearms in the corner. Briscoe remained in control as he no-sold the forearms from Ricochet and then gave a hard corner buckle as a result. Briscoe missed a corner charge, but fired off some thrust chops to send Ricochet crashing to the outside. The Gates Vagny, or the GOA, I should say, made their way down to ringside just to cause a little bit of distraction for Ricochet. And they go to a break after this. When we come back, Briscoe hulked up and fired back with strikes until he blocked a pump kick and sent Ricochet flipping over face first. Briscoe paint-brushed Ricochet, who then took ref Bryce Remsburg out. This allowed Leona to pull Briscoe out of the ring to the floor, where Ricochet hit a corkscrew dive. Back inside the ring, there was a springboard lariat that connected flush, which led to a standing shooting star for a 2. There's a spirit gun that was blocked, as Briscoe wanted a J-driller, but opted to clothesline Ricochet out of the ring instead. Khan then took the bullet, shoving Ricochet out of the way and eating a baseball slide from Briscoe. Setting up a chair in the ring, Briscoe then launched off of it to the outside onto both members of GOA and Ricochet. Crowd pop big. Inside the ring, a J-Driller was blocked, not a lariat. This turned Ricochet inside out. Briscoe then wanted a froggy bow, but Khan took the ref yet again, and Leona knocked him off the top rope. Ricochet then hit the vertigo, but Briscoe kicked out at 2. GOA then went to get in the ring, but Brody King and Bandito, or as they're now calling Brodito, made the save and took them out. They're facing off tomorrow on Collision in the tag team #1 contenders tournament. I think Brodito wins, and then get Brodito versus the Young Bucks. Anyways, they brawled to the back. Ricochet was left all by himself. Briscoe spun him around, cradled him for a 2. Ricochet up with multiple thrust kicks, but Briscoe turned him inside out again with a lariat before connecting with the J-Driller and picking up the victory. So again, overbooked, too much outside interference from GOA, but other than that, what we saw between Briscoe and Ricochet, they always work well together. Post-match, Briscoe took the mic. He goes, and then granted, there's 7 minutes past the top of the hour here. And he goes, you know what? We're just getting started tonight. MJF, get your ass out here. He calls out MJF and says, you brought up my brother's name once. Shame on you. Brought my brother's name up twice. Shame on me for not obligating to beat your ass. Briscoe has never felt like this before, and he needs some help. He knows his brother is chilling in a mansion in heaven. And if Briscoe kills MJF in cold blood, doesn't repent, he's worried he'll never see his brother again. So MJF needs to make his day and get his ass out here. Max's music hits, but he never actually comes out. He shows up on the big screen. MJF said, I'm not an idiot. And I sense that Mascot Mark, or he said Mascot Mark looks like he dropped the comedy and got a little serious. What happened here? MJF says he has zero interest in a match, or had zero interest in a match, but now he's going to entertain it because Seabiscuit told him, if I can beat you, I get a shot at the world title. He said, so I went and talked to the biggest marker of them all, Tony Khan, and next week in the main event of this here show, be you and me. If Briscoe even makes it, though, video cuts. He turns around, Briscoe that is, and MJF kicks his leg out from under him. He gives him, I think he also gives him a low blow, but it looked like he kind of kicked him in the shin, maybe. Anyways. Where was I? Yeah, beats him down from behind. He's wearing a MJF did nothing wrong shirt, which is interesting. Kind of a play, I think, off the Kevin Owens Kevin is right shirt. MJF then said, hey, Seabiscuit, watch. And he put the ring on. He went to go hit him with a Dynamite Diamond ring, but Page's music hits and he power walks down to the ring. Page booted MJF and teased a buckshot, but MJF spun back to Briscoe, who almost hit a J Driller for MJF to then literally get out of the ring and run up the ramp and run away. And Excalibur's like, yeah, that's not a coward? Okay. And that's how the show went off the air, with Hangman and Briscoe standing tall, MJF running away, and I'm pretty sure MJF's beating Mark Briscoe next week. Again, not a bad show, but it wasn't great. The world title match sucked. The Christian promo was way long and sucked. And yeah, it was just whatever. But you know what I thought of the show? Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of tonight's AEW Dynamite as we go and check the polls. Remember, the poll is live on Twitch. So as far as these other polls do go, let's refresh. As far as the Threads poll does go, 40% like the show. Ooh, that's kind of low. 33% thought it was just all right, and 27% didn't like it. Oh, look it on Twitter. 44% liked the show, 33% didn't, and 22% thought it was just all right. Looking at the community poll, 67% liked the show, 19% thought it was just all right, and 15% didn't like it. Moving on to the live poll, 69% liked the show, 20% thought it was just all right, and 12% didn't like it. Finally, looking over at Twitch, I'm going to give it another like 10 seconds or so. They just got another vote. 67% thought the show was just all right, 33% liked it. So with all of that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Looks like this Billy Barnett guy likes when rules don't matter and there's just a whole shit ton of stupid ass interference. So yeah, that's what he likes from his world title matches. They're supposed to be everybody's banned from ringside. Yet the ref's going to look at somebody at ringside and not do anything other than say, oh, security, can you come get her? She's not supposed to be here. Yeah, no. Fuck all of that, guy. Fuck that and that world title match. Have a good night, guys. See you Friday for SmackDown.